the three main types of landing pages. Why? Because the most common question that I get at the agency is, what landing page should I send my traffic to? I'm running a PPC campaign, an SEO campaign, a social media campaign, a content marketing campaign, an inbound campaign. Should I build a dedicated landing page? Should I be sending my traffic to a separate microsite? Should I be sending people to my homepage? Oh my God, my homepage, terrible idea. Not such a bad idea after all in many cases, so just relax. Should I send it to a product category page, a product page, contact page, my maps page? All right, there's no answer. Depending on what the goal of the marketing campaign is, will determine the right type of page for you to send the traffic to. What's important and what I want to cover in this lecture are just the defining characteristics of the three different primary types of landing pages. We're not talking about squeeze pages here or gimmicky marketing sort of things like that. Three substantial types of landing pages. Their defining characteristics, when they might be helpful, and I also want to talk to you about this concept called the attention ratio. Let's just define the three main types of landing pages first, right? So you have your primary site. What defines the primary site is that it contains everything about your business, right? So you have your typical navigation. You might have a hero section with a call to action. You might have a section that goes through, multiple different potential services based on different personas. So if this is a bank, you might have people who are looking for a loan, people who are looking for a checking account, people are looking for private services. If you're Zappos or if you're a clothing company, you might have men's shoes, different product categories, women's shoes, so on and so forth. But you have everything. You might have some testimonials here. You have additional copy, right? It's your main website that deals with and that promotes your entire business and the entire range and scope of your services. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of differences as it relates to e-commerce versus non-e-commerce versus lead gen or versus a blog site. But that's the basic idea. A microsite is a truncated, modified version of your main site, okay? It kind of focuses on a limited amount of your products. It's typically going to have a kind of a simpler version of your main navigation. There's still going to be a specific call out for a specific service or a specific category of products, or even for a specific experience if you're running a contest or something like that for your visitors. And you might have a call to action with a form. It might be navigating users down to purchase a specific product. But the idea of a microsite is that it funnels users more strongly with a greater emphasis on one specific conversion action, which might be a newsletter sign up, but it's typically going to be a form submission or a specific sale. That's where microsites usually are most effectively used. You also have microsites being used for brand experiences. So Domino's Pizza has a famous microsite where they're showing off their new pizza delivery car. That's really meant for brand lift, brand engagement. But with regards to what you and I are talking about here, we're talking about form submission sales, but a subset of your products. It could be microsites. I'm going to show you a couple examples in a few minutes, hopefully in a couple of minutes. They could be a single page, long scroll version of a single page, but it could also have multiple pages, right? It could be a microsite, whether or not it's a single page site or it's multiple pages. It still provides context to the user, right? You have information on the microsite. You have multiple supporting pages, supporting information. The main site provides the most context and the most information and the most options. The microsite less. And then you have your famous dedicated landing page. And you guys all know what the dedicated landing page is. And we're going to actually go and build some landing pages, and I'm going to show you examples of dedicated landing pages. The clear defining characteristics of a landing page are: one, no navigation. Right? Successful landing pages don't have navigation where they have the contact and big navigations with drop downs and submenus and different levels and FAQs. It's really just usually the brand logo up here, right? You want to have some context what the company is. There are some dedicated landing pages that might have a couple links, but typically very few links. And that's important when we talk about the attention ratio. And you're always on a dedicated landing page, you're going to have a call to action, a clear call to action on that page. This is a primitive drawing of a form submission, of a contact form, but it might be a single product you want to sell on a dedicated landing page. It might be a newsletter sign up. But it's one conversion action. Dedicated landing pages typically do not even have secondary or supporting conversion actions. It's really, I want my users to do this, and I want to just provide the information so they can do it. You might have some kind of bullet points, why I should submit the form, what this product is all about, what the service is all about, what you get. You might have a testimonial. You might have an About Us blurb or section towards the bottom. Whatever it might be, the idea is that it offers a sense of immediacy and urgency to the visitor, right? This is what we sell. This is what it is. This is where we are. This is what you're looking for. This is going to be typically effective for sales cycles that are not that long. And we're going to talk about the length of the sales cycle soon in a different lecture coming up. It's most popularly used for PPC campaigns, SEO campaigns that are targeting bottom of the funnel, high commercial intent keywords. So, I don't know, if you're selling whiteboard fluid, right? And this is what you sell, and this is what you want to sell in this campaign. And you might have a few different bottle sizes. You might have very, very potent or the extra strength version of your whiteboard fluid. But the idea is that you're going to have a dedicated landing page to sell that product. If you sell expensive whiteboards that are custom sizes and they have different weights and different glossiness, that might be a longer sales cycle. You're targeting universities, corporations. Then you might have a form submission, right? But you might not want to show lots and lots of your other products alongside the specific product that's being targeted for one specific campaign. That's where dedicated landing pages are most popularly used. So let's just talk a second about attention ratio. You want to have as few distractions from your primary conversion action, whatever button or link or form submission that primary conversion action is, you want to have as few distractions as possible away from that on the rest of your page. So ideally, your attention ratio is 1-to-1, meaning your conversion action has one click, or there's one thing I could do, there's one action I could take that would signify completing this conversion action. This number represents other links on the page, or the total amount of links on the page. So you want to have as few links on the page that are not links or direct supporting actions towards that primary conversion action. So of course, if we were to draw a timeline here across our three primary types of landing pages, and we have on here would be high, and this is our attention ratio chart, and over here is low, okay? So on a main page, there might be 120 potential clicks to my one primary conversion action. On a microsite, fewer, right? So let's say there's 30 potential links because we still have a navigation, there's still other links on the page. But on a dedicated landing page, you want to get as close to 1-to-1 as possible. And on a dedicated landing page, you're going to have the opportunity and the ability with design to get as close to 1-to-1 as possible. As you see your attention ratio getting closer to 1-to-1, you're going to see your conversion rates increase. That's something which I could almost guarantee you. I've seen it hundreds of times. The more distractions that you have on a page, the more likely that person is to get distracted. The lower your statistical chance of your conversion action being the action that the user takes is. That's not to say that you have to cut out every other link on the page. First of all, just as a caveat, privacy links, legal links, things like that, terms of use, those are not considered distractions because those are kind of known and they're conventions to be links that a typical website visitor is not going to explore. But when you have a navigation, that's the reason. The reason why dedicated landing pages typically don't have a landing page. When you're going to go into Unbounce and build a landing page, you don't have a navigation option. It's not a tool that you could build into the landing page because landing pages will convert better when there's no distracting navigation. That's not to say that you don't need supporting information. You still have to give the user enough content, enough information about what's going to happen, what they should expect once I submit the form. What should they expect once I purchase the product? What should they expect once I sign up for the list? What am I going to get? What's the value to me? What are the benefits? What are the features? All those things are still important on whatever page you send your traffic to. The main idea to realize is you always want to aim for fewer distracting links or fewer distracting elements that don't directly support the primary conversion action that you're attempting visitors to take on your landing page. I'm going to show you a couple different examples of primary sites, microsites, dedicated landing pages that I have prepared in slides. So let's just jump, and then I'm going to have an exercise for you. So let's just jump into the slides real quick, and we'll take a look at some real-life examples. So I did a search on Google for buy women's shoes online. And I clicked this ad, right? This was a Macy's ad, women's shoes at Macy's, 20% off Thanksgiving sales. And this is the landing page that I've got dropped on. So this is obviously a primary category page on Macy's main website, right? So this would fall under the category of our primary site landing page. And if you see here, there's an incredibly disproportionate attention ratio. If we go through, I would say there's over 300 individual links. If we go through all the links in the navigation, if we go through all the different links on specific products, I would say maybe even more, 500 links on this page, right? That's because in this campaign, Macy's doesn't have a particular conversion action in mind. Of course, they want a sale, but what they really want is engagement. They want people in their funnel. Macy's is not a one product company, right? Macy's is a massive company that sells an incredibly diverse range of products and services. So what they want is they want people landing on the most relevant page, and they want people to engage and become aware with who they are, their pricing, and what they have to offer. So this is a great example of a good landing page from PPC for Macy's. You might say, oh, it's going to a primary site that should be dedicated. No. Everything has its place. And you have to understand from your campaigns and your conversion actions what's going to be the right thing for you. Again, the search for buy women's shoes online. So this was an ad for Zappos, right? 100% free shipping and returns, fantastic call to action. And interestingly enough, I went to their homepage. You might think that I would go to the women's shoe category page, but no, I went to their homepage, which I'm not criticizing Zappos. They're a big company. They definitely know what they're doing. I'm sure they're running different types of tests to see if this homepage lander creates more engagement. But once again, hundreds and hundreds of links, hundreds of options, lots of information, but yet again, a primary site going to the homepage. When you're talking about what's the right landing page for a marketing campaign, one thing that's always important to understand is that your organic results are very hard to control. You want to try to rank in the search engines like Google and Bing for the keywords that you have potential to rank for, but you can't always control which landing page Google's going to send that traffic to. So buy women's boots online, that's the search that I did, and I clicked this organic result for Shoe Dazzle. And I'm brought to the Shoe Dazzle homepage. Once again, if you look at this page, it's through the imagery, it's very clear what you offer. Once again, I did click that link, so we should assume that the user knows where they're going. But this is probably not best page in terms of conversion rate for this particular company, for this particular search, buy women's boots online. I'd probably have been better off going to a page that specifically talks just about women's boots. But the point is to show that you can't always control that organic traffic, and you have to do the best with what you have. All right, I wanted to show you a couple live versions of microsites real quick, just to get a sense of what they are. Looking at my screen now, this is a microsite that we built for one of our clients. And what categorizes this as a microsite over a landing page is that there's a lot of context, right? So you have step one, step two. This is not your typical just form submission, major phone number call out sort of landing page. It's a microsite because we don't have all their original navigational elements, and we're just promoting a specific subset of their services, credit repair, right? And we have a lot of supporting information. We have here testimonials. And at the bottom, we have the contact, get in touch, and the form submission. So this is an example of a microsite. It's kind of built out, it's well designed, it's a long single scroll page, but it has a lot of these traditional elements that your typical microsite has. This is another famous microsite that deals with feminine products and feminine lifestyle, which is part of Procter & Gamble. But it develops an experience and it caters to a specific audience segment, promoting specific types of products and specific types of living habits for females. It's a very cool concept where you have this simplified navigation, even though it looks like a lot, but it's obviously much less than the overall Procter & Gamble service offerings and product offerings. And they have a lot of these different sections where women can come and hang out and talk about different issues and join that sort of community. So this is another good example of a microsite. Let's quickly go through some dedicated landing page examples. And of course, you've seen these lots of times, so we don't need to spend too much time on this. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is a big competitor to QuickBooks that offers cloud accounting. We use FreshBooks, fantastic software. So when you click on their ad, you have a very classic, well-designed landing page, right? No navigation, as you see here, no navigation. I can log in, I can try it for free, or I can call toll-free. Clear headline, subheadline, and very clear big green call to action. If we talk about attention ratio, look how little else there is on this page other than the big green button that they want me to click. I do have a try it free button, but it's sneaky because that's really the same button. So the only thing I have that's competing is login, but they want to offer that to customers if they navigate to this page. And as we go down, we have again the same call to action, some very clear benefits and features, and again at the bottom of the page, this is very, very common for landing pages, a very clear action block with again that same call to action. So this FreshBooks page is a fantastic example of a very, very good attention ratio. It's basically one-to-one with the desired conversion action, which is to sign up for a free 30-day trial. Here's a landing page that we've built for one of our clients, Karas Negotiating. Once again, as you can see, very clear. Limited time free offer, download the free ebook. And here's the form submission. This is your classic, dedicated, unbounced landing page. Again, towards the bottom of the page, another big call to action. Here's another landing page that we created for one of our clients that runs a successful surf camp. As you can see here, there's a clear call to action in the hero section. Book now, and you can also watch the video, which is supporting the main call to action. This is why I wanted to show you this page. It's well designed. There's no navigation. We have a video, some supporting information, some of the basic packages, some of the basic pricing, and then again a big call to action block. Book now. Request more info today. The watch the video button over here is supporting the book now, because what we know from analytics is that people are more likely to submit a form and to get in touch with the company if they first watched the video and they got a sense of what the surf camp is all about. So that, although the attention ratio is not a perfect one-to-one, the other potential things that a person could click support users toward finally converting. So those are a few examples of microsites and landing pages. So let me just leave you guys off with a quick exercise that I think is going to be important to understand these different types of landing pages. Think about your products and services. Think about your business. Based on what you learned about primary sites, microsites, dedicated landing pages, and the different defining characteristics of each one, what type of landing page do you feel would be best for your marketing campaigns? Write that down on a piece of paper and explain why. Why would a dedicated landing page work best, or why would a primary site or a homepage work best for your specific campaigns? The second part of that exercise is very simple. I want you to perform 2 or 3 searches on Google for any random product. It could be shoes, light bulbs, a vacation package, whatever it is. Click on a couple organic results, click on a couple ads, and try to determine, in your opinion, based on what you've learned now, if that company sent you to the right type of landing page. Don't be so worried about the clarity of the headline, the clarity of the subheadline, but figure out if it was the right type of landing page. If it was the right type, explain why. If it wasn't the right type, explain why it was the wrong type and what would have been a better type. I think that exercise, those 2 different parts, will help really concretize and solidify this information and all this knowledge in your head. This took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but it is very important. Still laying that groundwork, still learning a lot of the really, really valuable fundamental aspects of good landing page design, and we're really on our way to becoming consummate experts in conversion optimization and effective